right. I will call the Eveleth City Council meeting for January 21st, 2025, 2 p.m. at the Eveleth City Chambers. Call to order. Jackie, would you please do a roll call for us?
Yes, Mayor. Councillor Rousey.
Here.
Councillor Koivunen.
Here.
Councillor Lillis.
Here.
Mayor Roan.
Here. Next up is approval of the minutes. The minutes for our council meeting we had on January 7th of this year. A motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Koivunen. Any discussion on them? Second by Rousey. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Thank you. Approval of the agenda. Does anybody have anything that they'd like to add to this week's agenda? Mr. Rousey?
No, sir.
Mr. Lillis?
No, sir. No,
Mr. Koivunen? I am looking to just add for the very last one, it would be J15, that we discuss having a meeting for department updates, that we look to put together a date where we can have that. Something, whether it is a meeting to refresh your minds or get me privy to information that's going on, just so I'm on the same page as you guys. So we can talk about more of that when we get to that point. With the addition to the agenda, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Rousey, a second.
Support.
Support by Lillis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. This is the moment we're open to the public. If anybody has anything they'd like to speak to the board, we have a 3-minute limit. Feel free to step to the podium. Nobody this afternoon. We'll step up next to appointments and presentations. And first up is Alex Peretz with MnDOT regarding the agenda J1 that we have to speak about. Alex, the microphone is yours, sir.
This is hot, right? Or I'm speaking to this for the...
Correct.
So good afternoon, everyone. So maybe I'll give a little update on our Highway 53 project first before we get into the agreement stuff that I think is probably on the package. So just where we're at, so our plans right now for the MnDOT portion of the project are complete. They're actually being advertised right now to contractors. We're going to be having our bidding on that on February 5th. So hopefully we'll be having some good news with some costs when we have that. We're hoping to start construction beginning of April. That work is going to start with the bridge demolition at Bale Pond. That will take all season to replace the bridges, but that's perfect timing to start that demo work because we don't need to worry about crossing the ground and stuff. The wooden poles that are down there, all the groundwork that we did this fall was already getting temporary signals together. So they got a lot of that in-ground work done. Some utility companies are out there still doing their own locates that have to have a locate for that. So that's still moving forward with a lot of the locations there. Then when school's out, it's going to be when our major section's going to be for the detour 53, hat track and 53 access. That will be detour here through. Hopefully opening up right before school starts. Projects planned to get through by the end of the construction season in October with everything. So that's just a quick high level kind of what we're looking at for this coming year. Once we do get a contractor on board, we're planning to do another round of public meeting just to kind of update everybody on what to expect. Nice things. We'll hopefully have the contractor be at the meeting to be able to answer any questions that are really specific when they're there. Also go a little more their detailed schedule. Right now we just have our high level contract dates, in there, but they'll be able to kind of say a little more in detail what their schedule. Then we're also working with the county and coordinating with them on their project as well with that. So, but they'd be at that meeting as well to find updates on their roundabout project and the road extension project. So that's kind of high level where that's at. I guess maybe we'll stop for a second just to ask you any questions about any kind of timelines, what's going on before we talk agreement stuff.
Has it been going pretty good so far, just getting ready for it? You know,
Yeah.
holes and stuff, no?
Yeah, I mean, we were lucky enough to get a pretty nice fall.
Yeah.
We did our kind of pre-work package or prep work package this fall. Just that way we didn't have to worry about, who knows what's going to happen in the spring, right? So we were able to get all that work done. We are going to be out doing some tree clearing probably in the next month or so. Trees have to be cleared by the end of March because of the bats out there. So we're going to expect that. I don't think we have the final schedule on when our contractor will be out there, but I think that's for February time. So that's about the only other work you'll probably see, the next month or two. But yeah, other than that, everything's been moving along. I can tell we're getting a lot of interest for different contractors because we're getting some questions asked of us right now. So we're responding to those as we're getting those like that. Yeah, should be good.
Thank you.
Any other questions regarding at least the time frame?
No, thank you for the timelines. Those are obviously what the people are looking for. The biggest things right now is what's going on and what's the timeline. So I appreciate that right off the bat.
Yep. And then as far as an agreement, so that's in your packet. So we're doing a four-party agreement on this. So it's us, St. Louis County, Virginia, and Eveleth. This is our typical cooperative construction agreement that gets done. So it goes through what the costs are for everybody and, the maintenance and everything else. So with this, as far as the city of Eveleth is concerned, so we worked with Jauary and Alan and Jackie early on to figure out, okay, what other stuff the city might want to add. So if you look in the top, it's about $311,000 is what our estimate is, for the city's share. I think most of that is all the city's proposed work for crossings on there. And Alan, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but there are 2 or 3 crossings that are being upgraded under 53 for water crossings, and some sanitary update as well on there. So I'd say probably 95% of the cost is that. There's always some extra stuff that isn't eligible to pay for the cities, or just some valve adjustments of your helping rates and whatnot. And then the other stuff, we try to be on the efficient side where by some of the sidewalk areas, we work early on to kind of figure out, okay, what could some bench locations possibly be? So we're going to build those under our project. It's city cost, but if they're out there doing sidewalk, they need to wedge out a little bit of area for a bench location. It's city cost, but if we're doing it out there for the sidewalk, instead of coming back later with a different contractor, we do a little bit of concrete work. So we're trying to find out all those efficiencies we currently the city to just do it all, under the real contract. So that's why I said there's a little cost for the city that's just the miscellaneous items like that. The majority of that cost is the crossing work.
Okay. So Jauary, it's safe to say that of this, of this $311,038.94, 95% of that is for the utilities upgrade.
Correct, yeah. We want to put new utilities under the same time we're doing the intersections, so we don't have a problem down the road, 2 weeks later we can have a break. And we don't want all that money being put into the highway system, and we have some overpiping up there, so we're getting everything we need.
Okay, and that new piping then goes how far past the highway?
It goes from Hat-Trick and it crosses, and it's kind of in that medium on the other side, on the east side, east side of the road, over by Super 8. And then we have a lot of piping off that we'll be doing in the future with this new Highway 37 project and then wrap around.
Okay.
So we'll be tying in there and going off of that.
Okay, and I guess that was the direction I was going, is we're not connecting into the college, we're not connecting into
We're not connecting into it,
hotel.
but it is part of that service that serves the college right now.
Okay.
And over on Longwood side too, we also have water and sewer going across there for the rest of those that goes up by the school and feeds G&M and all the other businesses in that area. So.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, and then Mr. Mayor, there is some water work we're doing that goes under Hat-Trick on there, but actually the county has to cover it because it's a unique situation. Because of all the road swaps, it's the first move for it, so it's actually goes under the county instead of the city on there. And because we're kind of bringing the road profile down, the cover wasn't there, so we worked down on Jerry Trick, helping just lower this to make sure we get the proper coverage. So that was all kind of worked through between the city and county on site. So,
I don't mind if you want to charge the county instead of us, works for me. Did anybody have any other questions for him at this time?
So then the only thing we'd be looking for, like I said, and I think the agreement you have is our 90% bracket, we'll be getting the final one. We wanted to come and meet with everybody first, so you guys, the counties reviewed it. I know Virginia this morning to review it. You guys are kind of the last ones, and I know I've already sent it to staff to kind of look at it on the big picture stuff. But like I said, we wanted to do that, and once we get all these, we'll ask for its final signature. We need to get final signatures done before it lets, you know, it's about 2 months. I know this part of it's the resolutions. It's kind of a resolution part of it right now as well, so. All the folks, resolutions.
Perfect.
That's all I have. Okay, so.
Thank you, Alex.
Yep. Jackie, did you have anything you need to add to that?
I don't, thank you.
Perfect. All right. So we have this portion coming up inside our agenda. Is there anything you need me to, or us to do with it at this exact moment?
No.
All right. So that leaves us to appointments of Carla Moberg to the Park Commission, appointment of Matt Heedy to the Planning Commission, appointment of Camille Newman to the Golf Course Commission, and appointment of Michael Newman to the Golf Course Commission. Anybody up here on the council want to break this down for any reason, or are we able to vote on it as a whole?
I would just like to, I'll make a motion for the whole, for all of them, and thank them very much, because these commissions are a lot. And they keep on applying, so, and they do a good job. So I just want to thank them while we can too.
Absolutely.
I'll support and say the same,
Yep.
or say the same sentiment. Thank you very much.
I'll just say, back for more, eh?
Moved by Koivunen, second by Lillis. Any other discussion? Thank you to all the people that were listed for their time that they're giving to our city and all the things we have going on. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Approval of the payroll. Payroll is for January 1st through the 15th of 2025, $153,538.40. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Rousey. Any discussion? Second?
I'll support.
Support Koivunen. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pay the people, where they would say. Approval of the payroll. Thank you. Right, we jump into new business. We've got a small bit of new business. Say small bit, it's quite a bit, I guess. But the very first piece was what we just got done talking with Alex about there. Looking for State of Minnesota Department of Transportation, the City of Eveleth, and the City of Virginia, along with St. Louis County, cooperative construction agreement for 2025 on the Highway 53 construction. Do we have a motion to move forward with the $311,038.94, 95% being promised is for utilities?
So moved.
Moved by Lillis. Any discussion on this at all, gentlemen?
I'll support it.
Support by Rousey. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Thank you. Next up, we have the proposed ordinance for amending the City Code Chapter 2, Section 2.02, council meetings, time and place. This is the second vote introduced that we will be moving our meetings to 5:30 p.m. on the first and third Mondays, and currently being voted on being inside these chambers. Motion to move forward.
So moved.
Moved by Koivunen. Any discussion on this?
I'll support.
Support with Lillis. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next up is the discussion of the community meeting to be held at the auditorium. We discussed, I think we need to look and move forward of having town hall meetings inside the auditorium. I think sooner is better than later for the first one, and whether we want to discuss making them every other month, quarterly, biannually, whatever we would like to do, but I think we need to discuss what we'd like to do and then follow through with it.
Mr. Mayor, I've got, on my Facebook account, I have a lot of people from Eveleth on there, and they text me of how they feel and that. And I just had a lovely lady ask me when we were gonna continue with our meetings. And I told her that we will start, and this is a perfect example of when, because we had approximately 80 people the first time. And if we could put this out there, we'd probably hit over 100 people. And just to let them know what's going on and to let them know with everything in the city, and I want to let them know that with the new roundabouts coming, that it's going to all be new stuff, but you just have to bear with us because it's going to be a lot of traffic going every which way. But I like to hear their ideas. They've been texting me some ideas, and some of them are very good. Some of them, they don't understand that we can't do it, which we will tell them. But yeah, I'm 100% for whenever you want to do it.
Okay?
My position is that I am in favor of doing that, and I am at the pleasure of the council. As to dates and times, and I agree with you that sooner rather than later would be a good first or second step, I guess, in this process.
I think that as far as the ferocity of these meetings, you don't get started right away, but if you say, well, once every quarter, but if something comes up, we can schedule a meeting anytime, correct?
Certainly.
Of that nature.
Yeah, certainly.
So the time frame, if you want to say, well, we'll have one for sure every 4 months, that's not said. We can have one in 2 months if something comes up or something. But I'm in favor of whatever we do there. It's
Okay.
well situated for that. We've had several meetings there, so.
So do we feel comfortable then saying we want to go twice a year? And then like you're stating, as
Something
things come up, we can add them in, but we are guaranteeing that we're going to have 2 every single year?
You know what, Mayor? I think that we can go like that, but I think we should have the first meeting and see what they would like, but tell them that's our intent.
Sure.
And if they want a couple more, we'll be open to do that.
Sure.
You know, just to keep them in the loop, you know, just.
That's a prime example of how that's supposed to work.
Yeah, so let's have the first meeting, you know, and
And we will ask the people, absolutely.
because they're the ones that we're having this for, you know, to keep them in with everything. And, you know, and if they don't show up, then we will not have any more meetings, you know? I mean, that's just how it goes. So hopefully we'll get a good turnout the first one with a lot of thoughts.
I'm pretty sure scheduling is flexible. All we need to do is the posting, the 72-hour posting.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was thinking that if you want to target sometime in February, then I could kind of look at the calendar, send you all an email, hone in on a date, and it gives us enough time then to get something in the newspaper, okay? And if we can get this date figured out before the next utility bills go out, if we don't have somebody else in the utility bill, we can put an announcement in there also.
And we're looking at evenings, correct? That is the goal?
What time would you think, you know, 5:30? Because
I
there
would-
could be a lot of people there, and people get turned into gremlins after 9 o'clock.
I would
At least
say,
I do.
I would say 5:30 or 6 PM would be a good time to start.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Matters not to me.
Matters not to you. Fair. Yeah, so Jackie, if you would then move forward and get us put together on let's just put 3 dates out there and let's see which dates work. And then we will get that posted and we'll have that meeting sometime in February to start for our first one.
Perfect. They'll like it.
So with that being said, is that the first time now that we just made unfinished business? Or as I just asked Jackie, why do we never have unfinished business?
Well, so
Because there's nothing technically to vote on there, correct?
No, you don't have to vote. Joel, do they have to vote on that? Okay.
Perfect. All right, so with that being said, we will wait to hear from Jackie, and we'll get some dates put together. We'll get it posted, so keep your eye out on both on our website, correct?
Correct.
And in the paper. Wonderful, thank you. Discuss the purchase of the former school property, consider whether or not the council wants to move forward with the school campus concept plans. So that was brought up by me as an agenda item at the last meeting. And what my goal was is, we've been moving forward with a concept that was created by Streeter and was voted upon by the council. And we just need to start getting in the direction of doing what we actually want to do. And I have seen that rendering. I'm not opposed to it completely, but I do have things that make me nervous about it. I feel like there are a lot of questions that maybe need to be asked by the gentleman sitting at that table over there that know far more than I know, as far as building, how you can build a home in some of these areas when there's, walls of rock or hill or whatever. Do we really want certain space? What do we really want to do in the area? And my concern is just that if we just punch forward, that we might be walking into things that we can't necessarily do and may not be what is best for the city. I personally don't see where 30 or 40 lots are needed in the city of Eveleth. Maybe I'm wrong, but it took a long time for us to fill West Eveleth. There's fear because you look at what the taxes are in West Eveleth. That fear is in the community when I talk to people. Also, I look at the people that are going to be looking at building new homes. Are they looking to build a brand new home in the middle of Eveleth? I hope so. I would love to see people building a brand new home in the middle of Eveleth, but I feel like it might be more directed towards other areas, and we can really capture the people that are looking for homes that already exist. Fire away.
Well, we own the junior high property finally. Okay, and we went down for 6 lots, buildable lots. And I don't have a list of anybody that wants to build there yet. So I can see taking baby steps at this, rather than putting all our eggs in a basket when we can't even get 6 houses there yet. As much as we thought that they were going to be there right now, but.
Yeah, flat lots.
Yeah.
I guess one of my concerns might be the timeliness of how we proceed. If we need to revamp the existing plan, I think there's some grant opportunities that are available currently, and I don't know when they won't be available. So I think, timeliness would be a key thing.
Absolutely.
If we're going to make any
So
amendments to the plan.
to your point, when I had a conversation, Jackie, you can correct me now if I made any mistakes in what I'm going to regurgitate here, but the plan that was given to the IRRB, which we are receiving funds for, we can make changes to them as long as we're not blowing it up and making it nothing like what we had originally talked about.
I think that would be an accurate statement. So the grant has been applied for both the junior high site lots and the rest of the main property. We haven't heard yet on whether we get that grant, but we've made it pretty clear to them that these are concept plans, right? And then there's always some room for movement. So you are correct to say we can't just blow it up completely, but we're hoping to get awarded some money that will help build that basic infrastructure that we need in order to move ahead, either with the revised concept plan or what's already there. So
I got another question. Okay, we have the other building, which we're talking about inquiring. We have it heated right now. That's another one that I think we should put on our radar right away, because it's there and it needs to be used. I mean, it doesn't do any good to own a building if we're not going to use it. Why would we heat it and everything else and not use it? I mean, a lot of people are asking, which we'll get at these meetings, is the school didn't think anything about it when they took off, because these people, their kids aren't playing basketball, they can't do this because there's not enough time, so they're asking, why can't we do it? Well, that's why the meetings will be nice, but I think that's another thing that we should work on as soon as possible, see what direction we're going with it.
To that point, I had a very, very brief conversation with Chad Hazelton with the school, who handles a portion of the athletics, the community ed, et cetera. And he is looking to have deeper conversations with us about what we can do to help open up gym space and everything else so that they can utilize the facility. So you're absolutely right. We do need to talk deeper about what our purpose is for that building.
Yeah.
What we want to put in there. I've heard about the DMV and everything else. I mean, you know how rumors are, you know how semi-facts are and what true facts are. At the end of the day, we have to decide what we want to do with that complex as we decide to purchase it for $500,000 and then stick another $200,000 into it. But we have to make a decision sooner than later about what direction we want to go as a community with this building.
Yes, because it is hard right now. I get a lot of questions from people that say, well, what are you going to do with it? And I'm, I don't know. You know, so I mean, I'd like to hit this as hard as we can to find out what we're going to do with it.
And it's hard to tell anybody anything when there's not a sidewalk or a driveway or anything
Yeah,
to get
because
to it.
we don't
right
know
now.
what's going to
Or
happen.
parking lot, yeah.
Right, it's a little bit of a tricky situation. So I would like for us to be able to, whether we just have a nice long meeting sometime or whatever, but I would like for us to be able to sit down, talk about this in a work meeting, whatever you guys like to call them, and start bulldozing our way towards what we want, not just with the school, but also with that property. Make sure it fits in the lines of what we've told the IRRR we're going to do with this property, because I would love to see those funds come our way. The city deserves to have those
Well,
funds.
the IRRB was very receptive of us keeping the building and opening the building up for people. You know, I mean, that's why they're there and that's why we're here.
Right.
You know, to open it up for the people in town. So we'll just have to put our heads together and figure out what we're going to do.
So a concept plan kind of a meeting work for you guys where we can just kind of
Oh,
speak
yes.
freely, whether we agree or disagree, but just kind of get there?
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right, I would like for us to make that meeting much sooner than later. And it can be in the morning if it helps you guys. I'll find some time, leave work to come in and tackle it for a couple hours. But that entire property, I think we just, to your
Yes,
point,
we have to get going.
we need to discuss it so we know what we want to do, and then we can relay that information to the IRRB. So, Jackie, let's work on getting dates put together for that as well. And that can be morning, if that works better for you guys, so we can tackle it.
Doesn't matter to me.
I love you guys with your retirement jobs.
As
It's
long as
great.
it's not snowing, I'm in.
Works out well. Okay, so keep an eye out for those as well, and we will definitely move forward on that. Next up is approval of the final cost for the Rockridge School District for the multipurpose fine arts building preservation that we were just discussing. So there was, I'm going to use the word guesstimate because this is out wild, but there was a quote they were thinking it'd be roughly $600,000 for us to get a slew of these things done. And if you're watching at home, feel free to check out online. There's the list there to check it out. But there's just a list of different things from demo to electric and what have you that needed to be done in that building. And it came to $204,635.60. So we need to approve, correct?
Yes, please.
That we're going to pay that bill. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Rousey. Any further discussion on this though?
I'll support it. That's because we have to get it done.
Support by Koivunen. So Los, you have anything on your mind?
Well, no, not with regard to this particular issue.
Okay. More issues come, that's fair. All right, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries, thank you. All right, next up is approving the statewide volunteer firefighter SVF plan initial certification for the City of Eveleth Fire Department. So this is about the fire department joining PARA come February 1st. And Jackie, if you want to do a breakdown for the people so that they have a better idea of what we're voting on, that would be great, thank you.
Thank you. So as a part of the transition from an independent firefighter relief association, they're moving their retirement funds into the state para, and that is effective January 1st. The funds have been moved, and part of the due diligence is this form that you recap and confirm based on the chief's review of this and my review and the assistant fire chief, who the active members are, who are the deferred members, okay? So that we can continue the process of making sure that we do check all the boxes in order for the retirement.
Does anybody move to proceed?
So moved.
Moved by Lillis. Is there any further discussion on this?
I'll support it.
Support Koivunen. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Excuse me. Next up is request from the city administrator to hire Mackenzie Clinton for the utility clerk position that just recently opened up. Mackenzie Clinton is a part-time library clerk, and she submitted her letter of interest for the utility clerk position through AFSCME. Mr. Rosati met with Mackenzie, and we feel like this is the direction we need to go.
Definitely seems like a good candidate.
Wonderful.
I was impressed.
Wonderful. Do we have a move?
So moved.
Moved by Rousey. Any further discussion on hiring?
I'll support.
Support Lillis. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Being that we just hired Mackenzie, we just opened up another position within the city of Eveleth. Vacancy for a library clerk, 20 hours per week, part-time position. Any movement, well, someone, excuse me, move for opening this position?
So moved.
Moved by Koivunen. Any discussion on opening this position up?
I did have one question for Jackie. Have we gotten any response on the current advertisements that are out there for a library clerk?
Yes, we've gotten a few.
Okay, good, thank you.
And a second?
Second.
Oh, John's got it.
He's all over it. Okay. All in favor to open this position, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. The change order 005 from Max Gray Construction, the amount of $9,236.85 for the City of Eveleth projects. Primarily, these three projects are fixing the library water damage, putting a key fob correct on the police department's front door, and working on the audio inside the auditorium. Any move to continue?
Well, I'll so move as much as I don't like change orders.
We usually let it up for Joey because
Because, you know,
That's his thing?
oh, I usually come unglued on a change order, but they've been doing a lot of work.
That's
And
his thing.
when you have to work on these old buildings, I'm learning a little bit, but I just get mad because a bid is a bid. But this was stuff we had to change, so. Also
Correct.
move.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Second, Rousey. Okay. All in favor of paying the bill for Max Gray of $9,236.85, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I guess if Mr. Koivunen's on board, then we just go with it, huh?
We just let him.
Just let him have his
I
moment.
read it and I read it and I read it and I'm like this at home, but then I'm going, you know, it's already done, it's fixed. I mean, who else are gonna get to do it? It's old stuff and it has to be repaired.
Can't move forward with it broken, that's for
No.
sure. Next up is a pay request number 2 and 3 from DSG Company in the amount of $307,158.75 and another for $6,412.51 for AMI water meter project. I thought Jerry was just gonna pay for this out of pocket, but
Wish I could.
I guess not. So a bulk of this was funded through the IRRB and the Minnesota Public Facilities Authority with a low interest loan, and that's what we're paying on, is the loan? So
Correct.
can strike up a 0% loan?
Mr. Mayor, you're gonna get a lot of this from Jerry in your 2 years.
Is that what we're doing?
Oh, yeah, he's,
Well, I'm hoping it's more than 2 years, but yeah, we'll see.
yeah.
We'll see. Anybody move on paying this bill?
I'll make a motion.
Rousey, any further discussion on this?
I'll support it.
Support by Koivunen, and obviously anybody at home, this is regarding the water meter project of everything that went inside your homes. This is the amount that came towards us. So, paying the two numbers that were spoken of earlier, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next up is approving the golf course manager's contract.
We had a meeting, and John's contract doesn't run up till another year. But to get him back in there, he's been in there for 20 years plus, and nobody's knocking on the door to, you know, to bid him. And we feel that he does a really good job. And then this way, if we do it now, he can start ordering his carts and all his stuff for, you know, next few years, which only makes sense. So with that being said, I'll make a motion to consider the golf course manager's contract, approving it.
Moved by Koivunen. Any further discussion?
Want to thank the Golf Commission for their due diligence in dealing with this.
My only question that I had, I won't jump right away, Mr. Elsie, if you have anything.
No, I have nothing.
Okay. Are we stepping on toes after the last meeting that we created that Ms. Elgram and Mr. Jeffries need to be posted before we just move forward?
I don't know.
I feel like it's the same type, and not that I have absolutely nothing against John, but I just don't want it to be that certain groups are being asked and others are not. And if nobody else is jumping to it, it doesn't sound like it would matter anyway, but we heave ourselves to be posting this.
I would think it would only be fair to make sure that all of our private contractors are treated the same. And if we did it for the other two, I think that after this contract.
Question I would have would be if the Golf Commission has already, have they called for proposals from anyone else?
We haven't called for proposals at all. John's been there since 2005. In the last 3 contracts, so it's 9 years, he has not asked for any more in the contract than what it was 9 years ago. Never asked for a penny more. He takes care of all the merchandise, the food, the beverages, daily green fees, yearly green fees. You know, so he's always done such a fantastic job. We felt we didn't want to lose him. We wanted to keep him. That's a big reason why we haven't gone with the proposals. And not saying that anybody wouldn't come in and do a good job, but John does, I believe, above and beyond, especially in the clubhouse with the food and you know, everything else. Because he buys all the merchandise, he buys the carts.
I agree with you 100% that it's been run marvelously, never a complaint, always moving forward. Anything that goes wrong is taken care of in a professional manner. Yeah. I would love to see him stay on until forever. But we made the other two, you know.
So in the other 2, we accepted it at this point and stated at the next contract renewal that we would then have it posted.
So that's kind of where I would have a question is, you know, the term of his contract is more than 1 year. The other ones that we spoke of last meeting were a 1-year contract, so this would be the same principle, would it not? That, you know, we're renewing the contract for the duration of that term, but then after that term is complete, then we would be consistent with the others. Is that correct?
That is the way I look at it. That would be consistency on how I see it.
You know, that being said, I guess I don't have a problem supporting renewing that contract as specified through 28, and then if the council desires to call for proposals at that time, we would do so.
Okay.
I agree.
Well, I agree too.
Okay, no further discussion on that. Then we have motion by Koivunen, second by Lillis to accept this contract by John Rennie, with the only change that, like all other contracts, when this one is up, we will then put it out for open. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And I do want to say thank you to John. He does do a fantastic job. And whether you're a person of the city who doesn't go out there or you're out there all the time, be very thankful for the hard work that he does. We all should be. All right. Resolution accepting a donation from the Eveleth Lodge, or excuse me, the Eveleth Elks Lodge 1161 for the ambulance service. This is the state law to accept donations via the resolutions. Did I say that right? That sounded pretty good, didn't it, Joe?
It did sound very good.
That, I don't know, I just something I wrote down. Thanks, Jackie. A move to accept,
This one's a no-brainer. Also move.
moved by Koivunen. Any further discussion? Thank you to the Eveleth Elks is what I would have to say. A second?
Support?
A second by Lillis. All in favor to accept the donation from the Eveleth Elks, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, thank you. And one more time, we have a donation from Bonnie McDowell for our city's canine unit, something that she's been doing every year for a while. Someone move to accept?
So moved.
Move Rousey. Any discussion?
Thank you, Bonnie.
Over the top, Bonnie, thank you very much.
Yes.
Every year, we appreciate you doing this for the city and our canine unit. The second?
I'll support.
Support Lillis. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you one last time, Bonnie. Most appreciate it. All right. Application for exempt permit for Iron Mining Associations of Minnesota at Curl Masabi at Range Recreation Civic Center for February 21st of 2025. This is a breakdown allowing gambling on the property, whether it be raffles or whatever they might be up to. Move to accept.
So moved.
Moved by Koivunen. Is there any discussion on this? My only discussion on it would be just asking, how often does this happen, Jackie? That is it every location that asks us annually? Is it for a specific date that they're doing something?
It's usually for a specific date, but I do believe that there is a special form if somebody has events scheduled every quarter. We can also put it that way. But I'm gonna guess we do 6 of these a year.
And we also have like the bingo people, you know, just some fun raffles that they're trying to make some money and we okay it.
Okay. Appreciate the education on that. Is there a second?
Support?
Support by Lillis. All in favor, move forward with this permit, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Accepted. So last thing then would be number 15, which I started talking about a little bit as far as having a meeting to more or less catch me up, refresh your memories on a bunch of things that are going on. And with that being said, can we make that another date that Jackie throws out at us, or have it piggyback something if you want to have a small break and then jump back in? I'm up for whatever. I love taking paid leave.
And you probably have some coming.
Yeah, a day or
So
two.
you might as well use it.
Right. Would that work for the board then?
Certainly works for me.
Wonderful. Jackie, would you add that to your list of
I
this
will.
third one that we have? I greatly appreciate it. Anything, excuse me, council presentation, committee reports. Jackie, there's nothing at this time, correct?
Oh, unless somebody's been to a meeting.
I was gonna go to a meeting, but I thought it was tomorrow. It was last
You
Wednesday.
mean Rams?
No, Rams is coming up and that's what we'll speak about later because they like the Zoom stuff and I don't. Brian was
I did
attended
attend
that
a-
meeting that I did not attend.
We'll hear from him then.
Yes, I'm referring to him.
I did attend the HRA meeting and we were updated on the current affairs of the housing development. A couple of issues were discussed, one involving a tenant that was alleging that they had a problem with mold and bugs and so forth. And the consensus of the board was that the the management of the facility had been appropriately engaged in resolving that issue or dealing with that issue. They addressed the issue, they continue to address the issue, and the board was satisfied that the appropriate things were being done for this tenant. The other issue, and it's been an issue for quite some time, a very expensive issue for the HRA. We had the entire facility's doors replaced last year. And as a result, some defective doors or the majority of the doors were found to be defective, and there was some condensation issues and so forth. And so the board went through a whole process to get things going in the right direction, and we are happy to report that the doors are being replaced. They started replacing the doors. They started with a small sample or a small number to see how they were going to weather in the cold, and they weathered successfully, so they're engaged even as we speak in replacing the entirety of the doors. So that issue is being dealt with. Other than that, I think it was pretty much business as usual. I think Mr. Rosie was reappointed as the chair.
I figured that much.
Doesn't the chair remember what?
Yeah, it's always the Wednesday after the second council meeting. It always was, and they made it to 15th this time, and I blew it, guys, I blew it. But we had comparable, you know.
Comparable?
Yeah,
Oh,
well above my level of pay.
fair. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else for any of your commissions?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Coivinon, anything on yours?
No, we just had a golf commission meeting, and we've talked about what we mostly discussed there, and then we had a rock board meeting, which I was not able to attend. I had a doctor's meeting, or doctor's appointment, so that was the end of that one. And otherwise, that's all I got.
Okay. I've got a pile of them that are starting to show faces of dates. There's one that I was unable to be at 2 places at once, so I missed one, but Mr. Procent caught me up with a lot that was going on there, so that was good. But nothing crazy right now, but my goal, I guess, I was talking to Steph just the other day, we're gonna be able to hopefully get a calendar online for people to be able to see when these meetings are, where they are. The biggest thing for anybody that's listening is to just know that Steph only knows what she knows, so that if she is not told that it's rescheduled, the time has changed, or it's been scheduled at all, then she will not be able to put it on the calendar. But the goal is that we, as a council, go to these meetings and express how important it is to let Steph know when these meetings are, whether we do it or someone else does it, but that she can get it on there so that the community is aware. Wonderful. So with that being said, Police Chief, do you have anything for us today?
Nothing today, Mayor. Thank you.
Mr. Director of Public Works, anything for you?
No, I'm just glad to get through this frigid cold. It's hard on equipment, so in the near future, I'll be coming to you with some repairs and some new equipment we'll need in the very near future.
I was going to come to you with repairs that I needed to my stuff too, but I guess we'll wait.
That's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Sounds good. Thank you. Alan, anything from you today?
Nothing to update, Mayor. Thank you.
Sure. Jackie, anything across your table?
Good, thank you.
Joel, anything on your plate?
No, Mayor. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, I appreciate everybody being here today. If there's not anything further we need to discuss, I will adjourn this meeting. Thank you very much.
See you.